Well, hello and good morning. Oh God, why have I started coughing now? I'm going to do a little video on the ESA for LUNAR. LUNAR's by Blacklight Studios. It's a small skirmish game, a lovely little game, a lot of fun. ESA are your European Space Agency. So this is my little book of cards. I kind of keep everything in here. Movement. There's a few missions there from Zavinza, Star 13. So let's go to the ESA. So I've got NASA, USR, freelancers, CNSA, ESA. Here we go. So ESA are quite an interesting force for building a little thing. So for a campaign, it suggests 12 oxygen and 12 points or 12 credits. So this is your oxygen. There is no credits cost with this on here. If you look at this card here, there is a number there. That is a credits cost. So that's like 8 points, 8 credits. This is 7 points, 7 credits, for example. Okay, and then you can see here for the Chinese, you've got free oxygen. So it's a double-edged sword. So 4 oxygen is more expensive, obviously, in oxygen. But you can do more actions. So you can do 4 actions. You have to take a commander. So for the ESA, the first choice is obviously commander, which, to be honest with you, is pretty good. He's got 4 armor, whilst most of them have got 3. He's got a 4 move with his 4 actions effectively. So it gives him effectively a 16-inch move, which is insane. You've also got, he's got Manifest Destiny as well. So at the start of the game, the ESA player may choose to subtract a single resource amount from a total yield of a mining or supply node. Now that's quite useful because what you can do is you can remove that from the one closest to your opponent, for example, and that makes their life a little bit harder because obviously they've got to travel a bit further into the game to get what they want, and they have to then attack more towards the middle to get more than 50% off the resources. So pretty good. You got no choice anyway. You've got to take him, but to be honest with you, he's probably one of my favourite commanders. Then you've got a choice. You've got to take a generalist. You've always got to take a generalist as part of your campaign. You have to have a generalist for every specialist, if I recall. If I'm wrong, please say so down below. So you've got your ESA generalist, pretty standard, free cost. You've got free movement and free armour. And this star here, which you can see is a +3, that is on rolls for things like mining and picking up things and stuff like that. So kind of their training, their skill. So we go into the tech specialist, which we will come back to. He's kind of like in this case, he's your drone specialist. And you've got your mission specialist. And this one's got +2 to mining actions and +2 to any interactions. He's pretty good. So you get basically +2 to any actions that aren't combat, really. That's probably the best way to put it. And then we go over to here. We've got the medical specialist, which is your medic. Again, cost of free oxygen, as is the combat specialist. He's got enhanced calm. And you can give basically concentrate tokens to nearby friendly guys. So pretty good if you want to sort of give somebody a concentrate, which kind of allows them to aim and stuff like that. Makes their life a lot easier. Then you got this in here called crisis training for the combat specialist. So once per activation, if the unit is outnumbered by activations, enemy units within 4 inches, you may re-roll a single hazard result from any ranged or melee attack. So good if you're outnumbered. Probably more useful if you're playing against the Chinese. Now the interesting problem with this is that I said at the beginning, you get 12 oxygen to spend. So you got 4. And then you're going to take 2 guys. Because you got to take a special. You're going to take a specialist, and even if you take 2 generalists, which you wouldn't want to do, it's still going to cost you the same in oxygen. So you've effectively got 4 plus 3 plus 3. Now that comes to 10 oxygen, and you've only got 2 left. And you'll notice here that everybody is free. So I would suggest that you take this, the DLS Lynx. It's a drone, and it's a mighty drone. It comes with the most powerful gun in the game. Not a lot of shots, and it's got no bonuses to shoot, but it's damn good. So what you do here is, I would suggest, because it's got 2 oxygen, so it's only going to get 2 activations. It's either going to be shooting, aiming and shooting, or it's going to be getting the hell out of Dodge Town. So you've got on this here, going back to the tech specialist, gives them a 1-inch movement to it. So that gives this a lovely movement of 4, which means you've got an 8-inch move in effect, which is enough in this game to get you around. Your games table is generally 2 foot by 2 foot, 24 inch by 24 inch. So this will get you around that quite nicely. So that's my suggestion here. Now, equipment. So this is my choice basically. So commander, tech specialist, generous because you got to, and then the Lynx. I would then consider taking this, the ATLV. The ATLV basically. So cost 7. All the factions can use it. It's got a +4 to your move. Now, do you give it to your commander or do you give it to your tech specialist? Now, my thinking is give it to the tech specialist. It takes him out to movement 4, which with his 3 activations effectively gives him, I got to do some maths now, a 12-inch move, which is pretty fast. It's fast enough to zip around. You could go in, grab a few tokens, because you've got a bit of storage on here. And then you can carry the storage. You can carry all the tokens and all your mission objectives back to base camp pretty quick. But also you can then keep zipping around and getting to this Lynx when he needs to. So when the Lynx activates, the Lynx gets that extra move that it needs. So that's one option there. That's 7. That will give you effectively 5 credits left. What we do with those 5 credits would be going into another video about equipment choices. So, I mean, in this case, I would probably take a few pickaxes, maybe a laser pistol if you can fit one in. But you've also got your commander here. Now, your commander, he's got +3 on his competency. He's not going to need anything to help him dig up resources. He can do that at the back of his foot, to be fair. He's pretty good. Now, you could, for a bit of fun, stick him on the ATLV. I don't normally take in starting groups an ATLV. Not something I would choose to do. But because of the way this faction is a little bit different to all the others, it's not a bad choice because it gives you a +4 to your move. Now, he's already got a 4-inch move. So you've effectively got an 8-inch move and he's got 4 activations. Wow. 32-inch move. He can get pretty much to anywhere at any time he wants on the table. In fact, he can do that and have an action left over at the end, which could be quite useful. Maybe give him a pickaxe or something so he's got something with piercing, so he can zip down the back of the enemy and whack one of them on the head with his pickaxe or whatever, and steal their resource and then zip it back to your base. Because don't forget, you've also removed one resource from their side anyway for having them in your force. So they're already going to be struggling to get the resources. So real smash and grab, quite a sneaky little bunch, this little ESA. The struggle's going to be choosing the right equipment to take with them. But yeah, that would be my choice. So what would it look like? Well, I'm going to show you some models now. So I shall get some of them out. I've got a few. So they come in packs of 5 as a multi-part kit currently. And I used for these, for painting wise, I used these, I think it was a Space Wolf grey, it was a Space Wolf contrast paint over a general white paint job that I do. I might do a video on that at some point if I haven't already. And this would be the drone I would choose. So the drones are really nice because they kind of give, especially here for this one, they give your forces a bit of options. So this is the drone. It's effectively got a sniper rifle on it. If you've got the cards and you know the game, my God, you know how powerful it is. And it comes for free. It's literally giving you one of the most expensive guns in the game for free. Literally because you've got 2 oxygen left. So commander wise, I mean, it doesn't matter, the game is not WYSIWYG. But as you can see, the ESA are quite fun. One of their special pieces of equipment is these rifles. I kind of see these as doing quite well with them. But they are expensive in points, so I would say get them later on in the campaign as the campaign moves on. Gun-wise, but again, the game's not WYSIWYG, so you can. I tend to use these to represent my combat specialists. I use this guy to represent my mission specialist because he's good at mining. This is your generalist, I would say. Always one of my favourites is just giving a guy a rock. You can't beat a good bit of rock. So this would be my generalist. I'd probably, if I could fit it in, give my leader something like a mining hammer, just so he can go around the back and whack people. And I would give my technician, who controls the drone, I would give him, if I can, a las pistol. I've not done the points, so I don't know if that works. That would be my choosing selection. So you've got effectively 3 guys and a drone. Now, one of them would be on the bike. Voila. And the bikes are really good, so you can put any of the bodies on the legs and then use the arms that come with the bike. So I'm not sure, I don't think the bike came with an ESA body, but in my case I did it anyway. So there we go. So that is kind of my 4-star. How would I play? Like, I've kind of explained how I'd play them. So it all depends on if you're going to put your commander, this guy here, the red hammer, or your technician, the guy with the las pistol. The laser pistol basically just blinds people. But because the commander's so good at what he does, he's just going to rack face with anything you give him. So you could give him the pistol, and then give the technician the bike and the hammer, for example, and go that way with it. But I would use the bike, if it's got a technician on it, to support the robot. And the robot will go around, do some shooting, and for now, everything's good. I wouldn't use the las pistol for going behind enemy lines because it's used for blinding, which means that most of the time if you get behind the enemy lines, they're going to be facing away from you, so you won't be able to blind them. Or something like the hammer, really good. You can go in, make some mess, wreck some face, steal some objectives. So I'm really torn if it's best to have the commander as basically a Hell's Angel, or have a mobile technician that keeps up with the drone. And your generalist will basically be doing all the hard work. Yeah, your minimum wage worker will be out there doing all the dirty work, doing all the hard work, probably very well unequipped. You're going to have to see his union about that one. But as soon as you got your first couple of games under your hat, maybe start equipping with some decent gear. Anyway, that's the European Space Agency. I hope that's been kind of useful to you, and I hope that's been enjoyable to watch. If there's any facts in particular you'd like me to do next, please let me know and I'll go through them. Thank you very much. And please hit like and subscribe.